going to introduce them later, but we have two particularly distinguished guests today. We have the state head of Caltrans, Malcolm Dockery, and the state head of the Federal Highway Administration, Vince Mamano. And while I'm going to introduce them in a minute, these guys control a lot of money. So I would like for a round of applause. I've got a lot of thanks here before we have our speakers begin. First, we're sitting on storage dirt that was removed from Highway 58 out in the Cottonwood Road area in order to widen Highway 58 and add more auxiliary lanes and improve the on-off ramps and so on. And it's being stored here because it's going to be used on the Kern River Bridges project. A lot of times people call and say, why are you building a mountain out by Mohawk? And the reason is that it lowers the cost of the projects. Mr. Spalding over here, the operating engineer's head, all his thanks to your people for having moved. I forget how many cubic yards we have, but it's a great deal. The project designer, I'd like to point out, is Parsons and William Nugent. You're hiding somewhere. Thank you to Parsons as well as Bill. The contractor, Security Paving, Mark Whitgraff. We appreciate your work and your bid on this project. Thank you. Construction Management, AECom, Andre Roldan. Oh, and Janet Wheeler is the heart of all public relations things on TRIP. She does the monthly newsletter. She takes the nastiest calls from citizens. She organizes these events. Apparently people from her parent organization are here. Stephanie Graves, President CEO of the Lee Andrews Group. We love Janet. I hope I don't miss any. We have a number of dignitaries and representatives of elected officials here. And so Keenan Hoshold, I hope I'm not butchering that too badly, a representative of Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy. Do you have something for us?
I removed the certificate from the envelope before I came in, so I wouldn't have one more thing to carry. But it's an honor to be here on behalf of the Congressman, and I just want to make sure I presented this certificate of special congressional recognition to the Centennial Corridor Project, to the Kern River Bridge Improvements Project groundbreaking. And I know that I'm going to use this project. I know many other people will too. So on behalf of the Congressman, myself, and the community, thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you. And Andrea Joven from Congressman David Valadeo's office.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ariana Hoven, and I'm here today on behalf of Congressman Valadeo. And Congressman Valadeo would like to congratulate and thank the Thomas Roads Improvement Project, Caltrans, and the City of Bakersfield for all of their hard work in making this groundbreaking ceremony possible today. It's always awesome to see these kind of projects happening in our community, and we're just excited to see the final project once it's done. And so today I have the Certificate of Congressional Recognition honoring the groundbreaking ceremony for the Kern Bridge Improvements Project. So once again, congratulations and thank you.
Thank you very much. We have Michael Herrera from Senator Jean Fuller's office.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Michael Herrera, and in Senator Fuller's absence and on her behalf, I would just like to say congratulations to the City of Bakersfield, Caltrans, and the Thomas Roads Improvement Program for the Kern River Bridge Improvements groundbreaking ceremony. And Senator Fuller is definitely in support of this project, and as a token of our support, we would like to provide a certificate of state recognition. It's signed by State Senator Jean Fuller this Wednesday, June 14th. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. And we have Gabby Gonzalez from Senator Andy Vidak's office. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Gabriela Gonzalez. As my colleagues have said, congratulations. I know it takes more than one person, more than one group to make this all happen. And so thank you on behalf of State Senator Andy Vidak, and congratulations. Nice and sweet.
And then we have Tanner Dinus from Vince Fong's office. Vince was with the TRIP program and in the monthly meetings for 8 or 9 years before he got elected. And we particularly appreciate the length of his service to this program.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Tanner Durness, and it's my pleasure to be here on behalf of Assemblymember Vince Fong. And Assemblymember Fong would like to recognize all parties involved, City of Bakersfield, Caltrans, Thomas Roads Improvement Program, the County of Kern, and Kern Cog. And as we were driving over here, I was looking, I was like, where do I go? And I could see it right from our office. Everyone in Congress are here, so it's great. And I know the project will be used, and it's going to be great for the city, so thank you.
Thank you very much. We want this to be temporary.
Yes.
And we have Amanda Simpson from Assembly Member, former City Council Member Rudy Salas's office.
Good morning. On behalf of Assemblymember Rudy Salas, I would like to present this certificate of recognition to the City of Bakersfield, Thomas Roads Improvement Program, Kern Cog, the County of Kern, and Caltrans. Congratulations on the Kern River Bridge Improvement Project's groundbreaking.
Thank you very much. We have the most significant dignitary of all here, in my view, my wife, Kate. We have Vice Mayor Bob Smith. Thank you for coming. We have Region Director Sherry Bender-Elert from Caltrans. And I want to just take a minute and a speaker who's coming up conceived the idea of a local partnership of 4 entities to expedite project delivery. And so would everybody who is with one of the 4 agencies, or we'll count in our management partner, Parsons as the 5th, stand up for a minute, please. I'd like to thank you for the work done. It is a fully functional partnership. We have our Public Works Director, Nick Fiddler, here, Bill Nuchin again with Parsons, Sherry and Rick Helgeson with Caltrans. County, show up today? They're fighting over the PACE program. They couldn't make it. And we have, of course, Aaron Akimi with the COG. And the project managers for TRIP, co-managers, are Luis Tapote and Christine Budak, who likes to hide. Where are you, Christine? Oh, she's on assignment. All right. Again, thank you for all your work. I want to thank our hosts today for sponsoring this program, AECOM, the Leanders Group, Parson Infrastructure Group, and Security Paving. Thank you very much. Now we have a bundle of energy, and she always has positive things to say about the city and our activities. Welcome the Honorable Mayor Karen Go.
Thank you, Ellen. Isn't this the greatest city? Yes? Yes, indeed. And what a wonderful day to celebrate a corridor. Centennial Corridor, the beginning corridor. What does that mean? Passage. And here we have a passage to the future. A passage to the future, maybe for the next 100 years. And as we have these bridges here, thank you for each of you who has been invested in building these bridges to connect us to people, bridges that connect us to places, and then bridges that connect us to plans that are yet to be imagined or told. So what a great day. I want to join all of you in just congratulating, thanking all of the participants here, but looking forward to that passage to our future where we can grow economically, where we can grow and prosper as a community. God bless you, and thank you, everyone.
Mayor Go had asked me where the name Centennial Corridor came from. I'm going to give you 2 options. One is way back when it was just a concept in the 13 alternates being analyzed phase, it was going to go by the building then known as the Centennial Garden. Of course, now that's Rabobank Arena and it doesn't go near it. The other one is why Centennial? Because all of us who've worked on it seem like it's been 100 years in the making. The next speaker is a positive voice for our freeway projects and a positive voice for many things important to the community. That wasn't always the case for this particular council seat. So deep appreciation to Andre Gonzalez.
Thank you, Mr. Tandy. Good morning, all. This is an awesome project. Don't you agree? Yeah. Awesome, right? And I'm excited for two main reasons. Number one is that last year I spent 10 months knocking on doors and talking to countless number of families throughout Ward 2. And they told me loudly and clearly that they were ready to finish both the Centennial Corridor and the 24th Street Improvement projects. The residents of Ward 2, just like all of the citizens of Bakersfield, are ready to move forward. They understand the benefit that these projects will bring to our entire community. And the second thing that excites me is what Mayor Go referenced. The opportunity that this project will bring to our region, our future economy, and the future prosperity of the people who live here is just tremendous. And so I'm a very proud council member, and I'm very excited to represent Ward 2, and I'm very happy to finally continue to push hard as a representative of Ward 2 so that we can move forward. Thank you.
Those of you not familiar with what has taken place on the main line of the corridor, we have a photo down here, and we actually have a drone video. It's cleared. 250 property acquisitions. By the way, Don Anderson and OPC did all of that. I should have pointed them out earlier. Thank you. We are down to about 5-6 demolitions to go on the entirety of that corridor. Have not gone through the complete eminent domain process on any one of them. So it's been a rather remarkable feat. The bridge, the north side's in Ward 3, the south side's in Ward 2. I guess it's connecting them. I'm getting in trouble with the council because this is the third ceremony in a row where one council member has been featured. The others are starting to question where my time is spent. But I would like to introduce Council Member Ken Weir.
Hey! It's true. When we were at the 178 ribbon cutting, Mr. Tandy came up to me like it was my last event. You know, I could just fade off into the future. But, you know, Ward 3 is integral to this whole entire city, and you just can't do without us. So here I am today. It is really great to be here. It's finally come to fruition that we have a solid direction on the council. We can provide that direction to staff. This project is going to move forward like it should have all along, and I couldn't be more proud to be a part of it. Congratulations to all of you. By the way, my next election is next year. You have that long to finish this thing, so see you later.
Everything that is done on these projects is, because almost all trip projects are on state routes, is done under the auspices of the rules, regulations, and ultimate governance of the Federal Highway Administration. And one of our distinguished guests today, oh, thank you.
I'm a little taller than you.
One of our distinguished guests today is the California Division Head of the Federal Highway Administration. I would like to give special thanks for the cooperation of his staff and his people. Regulations for highway construction are mammoth in nature. They help us, they guide us through, they make sure we don't go awry, and they also can help with funding of grant applications sometimes. So for many reasons, this is Vince Mamano.
So it's a rare opportunity I get to speak before the director of Caltrans, because usually he takes all my talking points. So there's a lot of stuff going on in the state. Yeah, that's not worth much. Sorry about that. Sorry. And I have no envelopes. Congratulations. So I'm with the Federal Highway Administration here in California. There's this is kind of fun. I got some great talking points from my staff, so clearly I won't use them. But this was a great opportunity for me. I appreciate the invite to come and talk here, because I moved here to California about 9 years ago. Probably the first week or two in my position here in Federal Highway in California, I moved here from Hawaii. So I'm thinking, all right, I'm in California now. Was talking about this project and where we can go. And we were talking about the earmark, and congratulations to the Honorable Bill Thomas in getting that earmark, because that's obviously a substantial part of this. And what was interesting to me is there was never not sure if we're going to be able to get this done. We're not sure how. It was always, how do we get this done? So there was a lot of work that went into it. A lot of coordination. I don't think everybody really understands. Well, many people here probably really do understand the effort that goes into delivering a project like this under the circumstances that we've had. When you have the city working on this, you have the COG, Kern County, or Kern Council of Governments working on it, the county, Caltrans. I know you have district and headquarters, so I'm glad Sherry. I don't think everybody really appreciates, everybody sees Malcolm and hears a lot of Malcolm, but I think Malcolm will be the first one to tell you that Sherry's the one that at the district level is the one that's going to have to take and make this thing work. And I've had a lot of discussions with Sherry on this project. And like I said, it was always, let's figure out how to get this done. It wasn't, there's a hurdle here, oh my goodness, there's a hurdle, we're not going to get over it. It was always, how are we going to get this done? And that's the same approach I've gotten from the city and the COG. So it's important to see that. The other piece of this was the other federal agencies that are involved in this. There was several other federal agencies, particularly the EPA, and there was a lot of work that went into that. So I appreciate the partnership that they've came through on this to help us get to where we needed to go. This project is one of those it's a great example at a federal level that we get to say, all right, this is a great local project. It's a great regional project. It's a great state project. And from a freight standpoint and everything else, this is a great national project. So these are the types of projects that impact the whole country. So I appreciate doing things like the early acquisition to get some of the right of way, and that doesn't impact the environmental document, but it allows us to go out and get some things done early. So I appreciated the effort of getting in and going and moving forward with that, taking that risk, and we're able to come through with it. We're looking for innovation. We're looking for these types of projects to really show the rest of the country what you can do. So we appreciate that effort. Secretary Chow, is one of her biggest things is clearly safety and innovation, and seeing how we can accelerate the project delivery side of things. So I think hopefully we're going to see this. A lot of people will talk about how long this project took to get here, but there was a lot of work done in the last 2 years. So it seemed like a long project to deliver, but in the last 2 years, people were just going after it. So it's something that's I appreciate. I had an opportunity to see the delivery of this firsthand. So congratulations to everybody here involved in delivering this project. And I guess I try and end up with be safe, put your cell phones away, buckle up, and congratulations on all your work.
Thank you very much. A great freight project, you heard him say, and innovative. Those are the primary criteria in the grant program called FASTER for truck traffic, which we score marvelously well in points because our project combines truck traffic on 99 and 58, currently pending before the federal FHWA office. The next speaker started here. Malcolm Dockery was the local Caltrans director, Sherry Bender's current position. In the early phases. In my own mind, it was my letter to Governor Brown talking about his innovative style and ability to work with local governments, which must have been a key factor in his promotion to being the statewide head of the department. I'm not asking anybody to check that. I said it was in my mind. But a very warm reception for somebody who was involved with the project in great detail early, and who now has ultimate oversight from a state head position, Malcolm Dockery.
Hey! So that's the first time I saw Alan take credit for my promotion, but I appreciate it. But I also want to say thank you to the Mayor of Bakersfield for hosting us, and I am very familiar with this part of the state, and I think that this project is a very important part of movement throughout the state and the region and the city of Bakersfield. Transportation projects unfortunately take time. And I think everybody here on the stage and everybody here in the audience wants to try to figure out how we can deliver transportation projects for the benefits of our communities, for the benefits of our economy, not only the state economy, but national economy, as efficiently as possible. And we will continue to endeavor to do that. But projects also take champions. And I think a lot of those champions and advocates and people pushing to get the projects delivered have already spoken and are also represented here in the audience again. And it takes diligence. But it also takes partnerships, and many of those, that partnership has been referenced already with the Federal Highway Administration and the city and Kern COG, as well as our elected officials, statewide elected officials, and certainly federal elected officials. And this project would not be where it is. This corridor would not be where it is. The city, with all the improvements that came through the TRIP program, would not be where they are with some of our federal partners, and specifically former Congressman Bill Thomas. And I'll talk about that in just a little bit. So first, I want to make sure that I say congratulations to the city and Kern COG and the county and Caltrans Local District 6. And certainly Sherry has been mentioned, but there are a lot of other parties that were involved with that and did a lot of that work. Back in the day, I did have Sherry's job, and back in the day, Aaron Akimi worked for us. And Aaron, by the way, we'll take you back anytime if you're willing to come back. So I do have... But there's a lot of history, and there's a lot of partnership, and there's a lot of collaboration that has gotten us to this point. Now, I won't talk about transportation funding too much in depth. We certainly need to talk about that on the federal side. I don't want to necessarily steal Congressman Thomas's thunder on that. I do want to at least mention that the state of California has taken a bold step forward in funding transportation projects to relieve congested corridors, to improve freight corridors, and to take care of our roads and bridges. And that was not an easy step for the state of California to make, but the state of California has stepped up. We're hoping to find that federal partnership, and we know that we have that local partnership when it comes to transportation funding, which is very much represented on this project. So before I say congratulations to everybody, everybody collectively one last time, I want to tell just one Bill Thomas story. One of my earliest meetings on this project and the TRIP program in general, he said something that resonated with me and still sticks with me today that speaks directly to the importance of this project, this corridor, and all the TRIP projects. He says, when I was talking about this program and these projects and these corridors in Washington, D.C., I didn't show him a map of the city of Bakersfield. I didn't show him a map of Western Kern County or even Kern County. He says, I showed them a map of the Western United States. And I showed them 58, and I showed them I-5, and I showed them 98, and I showed them I-40. And the disconnect and the needing to connect all of those different corridors. And that goes directly to what Vince Mamano was saying about it being important to the city of Bakersfield, important to the region, important to the state, but also important to the entire western coast as far as making that connectivity to significant routes and significantly and most importantly I-5. So I think that goes right to the heart of the importance of this project. So once again, it's a pleasure to be back here, be back to see this project this corridor taking another very important step forward, and congratulations to all the parties that made it happen. Thank you.
I don't know if everybody knows this, but the portion of the Thomas earmark for Metro Bakersfield was $630 million. The partnership that he formed turned that through member contributions, through accessing other grant programs, other means of financing, into a total of a $1.4 billion with a B program. We're on the last two of about 12 projects now. And so we're asking for some financing assistance, but I think the context needs to be kept in mind that on this almost all on the state routes, and it's been $1.4 billion worth of improvements to the state routes through TRIP. Also, I wouldn't want Malcolm to feel left out. 20 years ago, before you were even local director, the district staff did a project study report and identified a non-standard bridge in our city, in our system. It was Bell Terrace, and they indicated that needed to be made a SHOP program. Sometimes projects do take time, but now we've designed it, we've acquired the property, we're ready to bid it 3 days from now, and our application is pending. I say this all mildly. I think Bill will have more emphasis when he gets his turn. The best executive director of a COG in the state of California and good friend of TRIP, a constant worker for funding sources and for transportation improvements, Aaron Akemi, the executive director of Kern COG.
Thank you, Alan. And I'd like to recognize today is the Army's birthday and Flag Day. Happy birthday, Army. To be sure, today's celebration is certainly symbolic, and thank you for touching on that. It may even be prophetic. On the surface, groundbreaking on these new bridges marks the beginning of the largest single infrastructure project in Kern County history. When this project is completed, the Centennial Corridor will fulfill a promise from city leaders, state leaders, and federal leaders dating back more than 2 decades. I personally worked on this project almost 30 years ago. Well, it is 30 years ago now, 1987. That promise was for a true east-west corridor through our region that will enable travelers and freight to go from Las Vegas to Interstate 5 almost without ever touching a surface street. That's what Malcolm was talking about. That's why this project has national significance. More symbolically, however, these are bridges to a future that is far from certain. It's no secret that funding the next phase of the Centennial Corridor, which is the main line from Commerce Drive to State Route 58, just 1 3/4 miles to go, is a daunting challenge for this community. The last of the TRIP earmarks, Centennial Corridor represents the crown jewel of this multi-project suite that, while I think it has taken way too long to deliver, it has demonstrated that local government can be trusted to leverage its money frugally, efficiently, and in our region's, states, and nation's best interests. That is why we must be more determined, creative, and clever in our will to complete this project despite the funding obstacles that remain. We will scrape, leverage, and save every penny we can to bring Centennial to full fruition. Our promise to the citizens of this region is that we will find a way to ensure these bridges smoothly connect to a much larger project and vision for our communities through tenacity, sweat, and optimism. Kern County deserves the Centennial Corridor, and those gathered here today, both in the audience and on the stage, are proud to have been the ones that have made it and will make it happen. Thank you very much, and congratulations.
Thank you, Aaron. The next speaker has indicated he's had a shy streak. He really doesn't have anything to say, and we'd like us to go directly. Is that true? He's not listening. What does one say about the guy who started all this, both with the initial money and about the idea to form the partnership? Except thank you, former Congressman Thomas, very much. We appreciate your efforts.
Thank you, Alan. This is the beginning of the end. I think one of the most significant beginnings for all of us was when we finally finished the West Side Parkway. That was in 2013. I brought along a picture, and I'll stick it over here so you can look at it, because one of the fun things about this was that I had my 2 grandsons join us when we cut the ribbon to open the West Side Parkway. If you can't see them, they're the little bitty guys right in front of me, and today I got them out of Garces High School so they can do a little work instead of watching a ribbon getting cut, turn a shovel as we have the groundbreaking. Sebastian, William, stand up please. Compare that to this. And the theme has been time. I'm watching a program on National Geographic called Genius. Are any of you watching this about the history of Albert Einstein? and his quest to conceptualize what became the theory of relativity. And one of the anchor points is to understand that time is not a constant. And if you think about that, time has been mentioned several times here. Malcolm remembers what I told him about how I presented to the conference committee what I wanted out of the federal highway bill that was being put together, and I was chairman of Ways and Means and I had to fund it, as to what it was that I thought this area of California needed. But you couldn't really understand it unless you took the Western United States. And somebody has heard me say California is a north-south state and Kern County is an east-west county in a north-south state. And at the time, the city limits sign for Bakersfield said 60,000 people. One of the reasons I came was because the stadium held 20,000 at Bakersfield College, and I thought that was a pretty good ratio in terms of people that would turn out for football games versus the total city. And I quickly understood over the years as I watched various federal highway bills pass through and looked at the amounts coming to California, and I understood that that north-south state is no better exemplified than what happened in the state legislature when federal highway monies came to the California, and they went principally south, and they also went north. And the central portion of the state never got anything, almost every time. So the only way we were really going to be able to do it was for me to convince the folk that I was getting money to fund their projects to provide some money to what I said was the single biggest break in the east-west federal highway system. How many of you, I said to the senators and the members of Congress in the conference committee, have a state freeway that dead ends into another state freeway, which hooks up to the national road system? And of course, no hands went up. So this was viewed as rightfully portrayed an interstate, interregional, regional, and connective city project. Bakersfield grew from 60,000 to the 9th largest city in the state of California. And we're here finally to break ground on what really is the true, significant, and most expensive connection in that concept. But the only way the money would have come here and did come here is because I went to the other local folk and said, we're going to do something that if we pull it off, no one else will be able to do in however long the history of the United States in terms of transportation funding. We're going to tell them that we're going to create a mixture of all the agencies that deal with transportation, and you're going to, in that federal highway bill, direct all our money to us. We needed Caltrans for the freeways. We needed KERDCOG because of the collective need in the area. We needed the county as well, but most importantly, we needed the city of Bakersfield. And Alan Tandy carries on oftentimes as the MC. There is no place to grade him on your program, but we've enjoyed him. Well, let me tell you, I don't enjoy him, I love him. He has been the absolute anchor point in making this happen. City council after city council had cooperative members, but it was always difficult to try to get folk to focus on the larger picture, and he has been constant and consistent. And my biggest worry is that time may take him from us. And I guess I should have told you this earlier, but I'm putting you on the spot, Alan. You don't get to retire until my grandsons stand next to me and we cut the ribbon on this particular project. We've been involved in lawsuits. We've come out the other end. There are a couple of them that are still pernicious because it will possibly affect the way in which the city can assist us in raising money. Malcolm, this is for you principally. In 1955, a budding movie star was driving through Bakersfield over to the coast. And on that September day in 1955, driving a Porsche 550, was killed where the intersection of the highway from Fresno meets the highway from Kern County in San Luis Obispo because of the odd nature of that interchange. 1955. Just this last month, unfortunately, more lives were lost at that interchange, 41 and 46. And if you were to go there today and take a picture, it would be 95% the same picture if you had taken it in 1955. And that is a link that has got to be changed. And I figured out desperately how to thank Malcolm. And I came up with one which I think is pretty good. Anybody ever drive anywhere east on 58, do not do it on a major holiday trying to take that two-lane road, which they call 58, that crosses 395 at Kramer Corners, because you better plan a day ahead of time. It is the most congested area where two heavy freight traffic lines cross. I'm pleased to announce that money is now available with a project bypassing bridge overcrossing at the Kramer Junction. And so that's off my list, and I want to thank you guys very much. That is a critical help in what we're trying to do. So it's the beginning of the end. But the Secretary of Transportation needs to understand that fast money, which Congress said should follow fast freight, lines that will assist us in continuing that interconnectivity through highways. This is Exhibit A. And we desperately need the funds that could easily be provided to us to help us finish this project. And the sooner the better. But it's absolutely necessary. And I appreciated your complete conceptual understanding of what we tried to do here and what we are trying to finish here. But your money in that fast structure is absolutely essential. And I know Elaine Chao is a wonderful person. I worked with her when she was in other presidents' administration. And if it were totally up to her, we would already have gotten it. I understand there needs to be some stuff done. I don't care how it gets done. I care when it gets done. And we need it as quickly as possible. So I'm excited too, all of these folks. The fun thing about this photo is also looking at the people who aren't here. They haven't left the planet, but they're not here. And my goal is to be here when we finish this job. And I don't want to see these two guys as old as Aaron Hakimi is now. Because you may not know this, but he came here when he was a corporal in the Army. And this month, he is retiring as a full colonel in the United States Army Reserve. So I'll end on a note that you often don't hear from me. Please, please, help us finish this worthy project. That was gratis for him because he takes a lot of guff, and he has delivered every time we've needed him.
Thank you. That was very kind. I'm hoping somebody has it on tape. I can also tell you that in the early days, one of the best tail chewers, shall we say, of world class was when I was in less favor with Congressman Thomas. He set me on a new path, straightened me out.
You've done a great job since then.
I just needed a lesson. So thank you all very much. Janet, you got some shovels for us?